Alongside Brent Hubbs, I'm Austin Price. Volquest 2-minute drill on this Saturday. Got to hear from Alec Ablin, Evan Crabtree, Tennessee Special Teams Coordinator. Tight end's an interesting spot, Brent, because Miles Kitzelman is out for several months with the pectoral issue, which means open door behind Ethan Davis.
Well, and I think it starts with Ethan Davis though, because I think the challenge for Ethan Davis
Consistency.
is become the guy, and not just be a guy who's got a lot of talent, who kind of yo-yos from not an effort, but a consistency standpoint. I think the biggest takeaway to me from Alec Ablin Day, he noted how the inconsistency limited Ethan Davis's playing time last year, and he's been more consistent through spring practice to this point. I think that's a huge development for Tennessee's tight ends when you talk about not having to depend necessarily on a freshman. Now, we know what Tennessee has with those two freshmen from a talent standpoint, but it's a hard transition from high school to college to be an all-purpose tight end.
They obviously brought in two true freshmen that were, pretty well coveted, in Jack Van Slayer and Desan Brame. But you asked him about Cole Harrison, about kind of being that guy that most people have forgot about, how he's coming along. He's not able to be tackled this spring, but, Coach Ablin, pretty complimentary.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, where is he going to be physically? He had the hip surgery last fall. How much does that set him back from his lower body development in terms of being powerful and strong enough? He compared him a lot to McCall Castles. Remember, Castles had to learn to block, and that was his biggest challenge. So we'll see where Cole Harrison is there. I think they like a lot of things about Cole Harrison. It's going to be really interesting to see what his development looks like over the course of the next 4 or 5 months. We're going to talk about a lot of positions, a lot of questions, and do they have answers and all those things. I think the development of Harrison and those freshmen this summer are going to be vital for that tight end position, because the hope is to have Kitzelman back for the opener at the start, but it may be 2 or 3 weeks into the season before he's really ready to go. So we'll see.
Which means you need guys like Desan Brame, who's in a red jersey,
to get healthy.
To get healthy, and then Jack Van Slayer, who probably is the most physically ready. Comes in here already at 240-some pounds to play and handle, blocking in this league.
Yeah, and I think it's just a continued development. He's much more skilled as a blocker than Brame is. He's a different type player than Brame. They should be able to complement each other very well now and for the future. He's a guy that you feel like is more ready than Brame is going to be. But again, is he ready? No, none of them are as a freshman. He's got to develop this summer. It's going to be really important for him.
Got lots going on at Volquest.com. Rob and Grant have you covered on the transfer portal of basketball. Eric Keene's got a doubleheader in baseball on this Saturday as Tennessee looks to potentially, they want to win the series first and then maybe complete a sweep against Texas A&M. And then we'll have you covered from recruiting right here, Matt Ray and myself from campus. He's Brent Hubbs. I'm Austin Price.